So we have Sanvanter on red coin with the Milf God, and the blue coin syndicate for Kareem. Now, I like to call this deck a pyramid scheme due to how they keep shuffling their coins, putting them into infusions, and then getting the coins back. And you better hope her opponent doesn't have control to make the pyramid scheme come crashing down.
And my platform lagged, so we won't have the player names. Kareem is on top on my screen, and Sanvanter is at the bottom playing Nilgard Rampy Soldiers, so a bit of confusion, but I think we're just watching as is. I'm not gonna put the names on at the moment, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is Syndicate, which is unfortunate to see without leader abilities, but it is just hitting cash. Could be worse if it was flying pockets. We see the first card played for Kareem was the Gellert to start getting some spending with the poisons. It's sort of a pseudo engine because it is a 2-for-1 spender, one of the best rates in the game. Soul coming down pretty early, as well as the Wretched Addict. Now, this is a card you might not have seen much at all, but at the end of turn, if it's poisoned, it will boost by 2, which is very, very good for a 4 provision card, but it does get locked. Sanvanter doesn't want to deal with any addicts, it seems.
Yeah, and he has Leo in hand, so that Saul is getting away with his crimes, but at one point I think the reckoning is coming for him, and Leo will be finishing him off. But where there is one addict, the disease spreads, and we have another wretched addict.
Yeah. No, that was actually Decree used for a 4 provision unit, which is quite crazy to me. It's putting quite a lot of value into that engine, but here's the Leo coming down as well as the leader, actually getting ahead on even there for Sanvanter with the Marine ticking. Very lucky to have the Marine ticking so quickly when there's really no way to... actually, sorry, new with the Maxi. Sort of just targeted the top card.
Yeah. Okay, so we have the engines growing, and Kareem had enough. He played his engines, but sadly all of them, besides the immune unit, got answered. And yeah, I almost thought it's the hidden cache that Kareem is playing, so we'll have the usernames hopefully for the next match in this series. Do we see the mage from hand? Not setting up anything for the top decks from the Blightmaker. Just throwing the Vlad away.
This hidden cache deck very much prefers a long round. It has so many engines and you want the longest round possible to get them all set up. So it's really not ideal to be losing the round 1 here. At least you got a leader out, you got a lock out, you got the Leo out. But with the Ramon in hand now, you're still dealing with 2 Arbor Armored Cavalries, another leader charge, so it'll be quite tough to still set up these engines.
Okay. And there goes the ship getting erased, and the Trihorn danger is real as well.
Yeah.
Now, the
good thing for Kareem is that there really isn't a good way to get through the scabs, especially with that Blightmaker missing.
Yeah, the assassin, well, didn't get the good assignment there, didn't fulfill the assignment.
So that actually should mean that Kareem is very safe just to develop engines however he likes in this round.
I would assume that there is still one leader charge, right?
Yes, there's one more.
But yeah, the defender, you can deal with one of them.
That's 2 infusions now in the Azar. At the end of each turn, there will be 2 coins gained, and already Sanvanter just wants to get out of the round.
Okay, so Sanvanter has his locks ready to go. Ramon plus Cavalry is plus leader is quite a few engines answered. Kareem, of course, has a candle spender carryover and also 4 points from full Syria.
There is also this Vilgefortz, which quite interestingly, there is a distinct lack of bronzes essentially for Kareem. And the Golden Necker has only one unit to pull. Actually, the Golden Necker is not found, so never mind about that. That is devastating for Kareem.
Yeah. Unfortunate there. And we see the army of Nilfgaard starting the locking operation.
Yes, actually, Roderick is bricked, it seems. So, unless we see some kind of Ren-free for a Curse Scroll or something from the stratagems, I don't think this Roderick is doing very much.
Yeah. Is there even a poison? No, there is no poison in the graveyard, so that failed experiment eating a poison is actually interesting and I guess beneficial to
So
Kareem.
it's 6 damage, spawn an enemy unit, and boost by base power are the options here. I don't know if we'll actually be able to... Okay, it's 6 damage was chosen. And we have cooldown 8, play the lowest. Yeah, so it's 6 damage, and play the lowest provision unit from your deck was chosen.
So lowest unit will be something like Nilfgaard Knight.
Doppler, Nilfgaard, or
Doppler as
Nilfgaard.
well. So if you want to, if you're hitting Doppler, I guess you kind of want to do that.
Yeah. Not amazing options, really, I'd say, at this stage in the game. 6 damage can be used to shut down an engine, which I really don't see how Kareem is able to set up any engines here. You're dealing with another lock from hand, Vilgefort, even the Slave Driver, which can pull another lock. 6 damage.
Among vampiric youth, I was, all
Granted,
modesty aside,
the only sort
rather
of
popular.
good kind of point Sanvanter is putting on the board comes from this Triss. But each of these locks is going to get 3 power of boost from the Triss. That ought to be enough to take the game, I would imagine.
Yeah, so Kareem is getting a proper Gwent experience here, missing his Golden Necker, and at the same time having everything he plays locked, so it is what it is. Also, yeah, the infusions cannot be dropped on the locked units.
Yeah. Like, you could infuse the Eagle, but I don't like that because it's probably going to get locked the next turn. I don't think you would lock the Treasure Huntress over the Eagle, so I don't see any reason to infuse it.
So we see the leader, and Nilfgaard Knight is the pull. I guess Sanvanter doesn't really care about buffing anything but this full city. Kinda doesn't expect Kareem to get much going on in terms of coin generation. So might as well just burn a 10. He also, well, knows that there is either a townsfolk or trafficker dropping from the deck most likely, so not a threat as well.
So that Nilfgaardian Night Pool was absolutely amazing in working with the Triss Meteor Shower. Finally see the Necromancer used on another Treasure Huntress, trying to get some infusions going to the townsfolk. Here's a glimpse of the strategy I was talking about before, and that glimpse is taken away. I guess that's what you get when you stare too long at starry skies in the night.
And will we see the beautiful finisher? Yes, we do see Roderick winning it for Sanvanter. A beautiful job from a spy. Green. Nobody told me, yeah, the window was out of focus. No? After the game? Okay, then we're not changing much. Okay, game number 2, and now we have the player names available. So Sanvanter at the bottom playing Portal, Arachas, Queen, well, Swarm.
And then Draga Queen.
Yeah. Against Kareem's self-wound version with Portal as well, and as you were mentioning, you kind of need to find your Portal to play your Portal, and
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Which, well, it did happen, but for Sanvanter. And that's an early Kikimore Warrior. In a couple turns, we'll see another 4 provision engine coming out. This, look, Svalbard is very, very good in this matchup.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the absolute number of bronze engines which Sanvanter is able to pull out later in the game will be able to be answered by Kareem or not here.
Okay, Idaran.
It's also Idran works with the warriors.
So you get units, but you'd want more from the card, I feel like. But yeah, the Kiki Warrior is that shady card that was always available and at some points was relevant, but mostly, yeah, not played too much from hand. The Hive Mind was nice for it to get, but we see here, yeah, Idaran already did his job pretty well, contesting round 1. You don't even need the Hive Minds and whatnot.
Yeah. There's a Necromancy in this list. I imagine it will be used later onto the Van Warrior. Also worth noting that there is no Heat Wave in this list for Kareem, but there is a verification, so the term can actually be answered. I would expect Sanvanter isn't expecting to get much term value in this matchup as a result.
Just bronzes with support of Idaran doing what bronze is supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I don't think Kareem is long for this round. These Van Warriors are just, as one of the original casters would say, absolutely popping off.
Yeah, okay, 57-16 is the score. Of course, you have your Swole Blood. That's always an option.
Look, maybe there is an argument that you're happy to commit the Swole Blood to just secure a round win. But it looks like it.
There is barely any gap in Gwent that Swole Blood cannot close against the Swarm deck, I mean. So the Brand Warriors are growing kind of slowly, but yeah, it's working. It's definitely working. It's just bad that you are kind of eating trees to create more trees.
Yes. Is a full board here for Sanvanter. Don't think there's any way to get space here.
Yeah, but he knows that the only way Kareem is... let's call him Kareem, maybe. But yeah, the only way he catches up is through Swole Blood. So yeah, that definitely opens up a space and a half. But yeah, we see the pass.
Not the Interesting to drop the totem and then just get out of the round. Especially since you only got like a spontaneous evolution response. That feels like a mistake. Like if you wanted to really go for the totem, you should have... I would have expected you to be happy to commit to the round there. Because having those extra spawns of 2 bears potentially means you get up to 2 more damage to the whole board. But instead we go long round, and this totem is not going to be lasting for the round 3. It's going to be a lot harder to trigger bear abominations next round, set up the Canute potentially. At least there is first say.
Yeah, and also there was no push. Well, I mean, in a sense that there is no portal, there was no Sigvald. Okay, now there it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sanvanter
it's
we also
mulliganed.
seen.
Yeah, I think Portal didn't have enough 4 provision
yeah.
units to actually
Okay,
be
yeah.
of any value. So
It was
Yikes.
just played manually, card by card in round 1 and 2 by
and that
3.
lack of thinning means the Draco total was not found as well, and the verification is missing. But the term is also missing for Sanvanter, so I guess that doesn't matter.
Just adapt and overcome all the difficulties. So what does the tome represent in Hive Mind? And a couple of specials, verification and martyrdom for Kareem. But that verification can only be played after you clicked your location order.
Yeah, now there's the defender for Kareem, which is quite tough to get through for Sanvanter, I would say, particularly early in the round before Stalkers are set up.
Yeah. Well, there is a heat wave, but you kind of want to heat
Yes.
wave. Maybe Sigvald or other target.
Yeah, because sometimes it can just be Sigvald against the world, and Sigvald very often comes out on top.
Yeah. Can we see offensive
Of course,
martyrdom
though,
here? The score is on screen somewhere above me. No offense. Ah, okay. There is offensive martyrdom. I love to see that. No,
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
So heat wave,
I
but
think
that's like a heat wave
yeah.
bait. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
comes through.
As I was saying, there's no real other way to get through it, so you need to use the heat wave there. But it's not great giving the term over, because now the Stalker can immediately go up to 11, and notably 11 is a very special number, because the biggest unit that Kareem has is the 10 power Olgierd, so 11 power is effectively safe. Now, Stalkers can't really do anything at 1 power if it were to, say, be clashed with right now, but there is a Parasite which can be used to boost it back up.
I guess we can see the spores and then clash, but yeah, you still have a couple of stalkers you'll have to deal with. But Sigvald is happy at the moment. And yeah, there we go, the deck building pays off. And this Willem, who people try to buff to 1 power, is doing that at 2 power at the moment, so think of the points it will be putting out later when people are buffing it to 1. Guaranteed tome, and yeah, now
the only other golden deck was the Idir, so you either found Tome or Idir. I think Tome was probably the better find there.
It's a good question, Lerio. How good would be Mount Art?
I don't. That clash was not good, I think, for Kareem. Yes, the Stalker isn't at 11 power anymore, but you set up. There was no Stalker in the graveyard before, so this Stalker being played effectively brings the Stalker back anyways. That clash really just knocked the original Stalker from 11 power to 3 power.
As for the Mount Art added to this deck, I guess it makes Prince Willem even more dodgy, and you kind of need some of your unit. Well, you're not using Mount Art as an early play anyway, so kind of makes sense. You'll bring the stuff with the tome out already, but probably not worth it. But yeah, as you point out, that clash is just bringing a small stalker back to the board. And for now there are targets, as you mentioned, there is a parasite. You basically need only one stalker with a bunch of charges on it, so that it can knock power down from the tall units, and then the smaller stalkers can finish the job setting up once for Glusty.
And that's particularly important after the Svarblood comes down, because the Svarblood will spawn a bunch of pretty low power bears, which you can then sort of set up for that Glusty.
Okay, so the stalker is getting answered, and
one of them got answered, but if the other stalker in hand is played here, it's going to come right back.
yeah,
So yeah, he basically got rid of the charges, I guess.
You chopping one head off, one stalker off, and more just hatch immediately.
And also keep in mind that, like, normally this, like, well, in this situation with another bronze, it might not work the same, but because the stalk has Veil, the Necromancer's Tome doesn't actually give it Doomed. So you can just keep bringing them back and back if you have more to play from hand. I think this will be the Vran Warrior. Yep. Necromancer being used. 2 Vran Warriors in 1 turn. So it was alright that the Vran Warriors were both played in round 1, because they're both back at once.
So that's the war between Sigvald, but Sigvald at the moment cannot be even supported by the Knut. You know that Knut is getting answered most, although you kind of have to.
Yeah, the nice thing is that what you can do here is have the Svarblood set up the Knut. So now it's a lot harder to kind of deal with both the Knut and the Svarblood in 1 turn here. So maybe we'll see the Knut living for slightly longer. Especially since now you're basically forcing the Parasite to be used defensively on this Kikimore Stalker to make it actually be able to target things. It can't just be used to finish off the Knut if you want to get value out of these 4 charges.
Yeah. So the Sigvald is sticking to the board. Svalbard is there, Knut is active, so... and there is a Sigrifa's right as well. So not really obvious how the match goes if you're watching it for the first time, especially. We also see 7 being eaten to create a 3. This only has 3 armor, but yeah, you're losing power, and the swarm kinda doesn't do much for you unless you don't
Kareem?
expect. What?
I guess Kareem is saving the leader to flip that bear from hand, but you could have also just used your leader there to kill off the Kikimore warrior, kill off the extra stalker. But yeah, I like this Knut a lot, because look, there's only 1 more special, which is the Hideous Feast, which is still in deck. You'd be expecting there to be limited ways to boost this stalker, and since the Hideous Feast isn't there, this stalker is now useless at 1 power.
Okay, so the small stalkers are trying to establish board presence here. You'd need to eat some of the drones, because otherwise that small blood getting triggered gonna ruin it for ya.
Yeah.
And we see that step by step they are coming back to power, and this Knut okay, there we go. That's the way Sanvanter decides to deal with that. So Knut is gone. Drones is considered. No. Fluting
I think actually, yeah. So no, look at this. So there's only 1 leader charge remaining, but the Svarblood actually triggers the Berserk on the champion of Svarblood. So Kareem predicting that the Knut would be finished off there, and the Svarblood left fine to do Svarblood things, which works quite nicely there. Finally, the Arrakis Queen getting eaten to get an extra Kikimore warrior. Now the question is Glusty enough? These bears can be set to 1 power quite easily, I'd say.
Yeah, there are still
Is it
some
40?
charges, but you need what, about 40 points? How many? That's a lot of charges, but you don't have infinite amount of targets to set up.
No.
So somebody in chat probably already did the quick math. I'm not trying to. It's gonna be close. You are getting well, only 2 targets on your opponent's side of the board, even though.
So Nick wants to leave their own 1 power unit subs to actually kill the stalker with that Kikimore.
And it's as close as it gets. A draw.
Wow, that was a good game, and we're gonna see it again. Self-learned.
Good prediction. I wonder how he does it. Every time there is a draw, he predicts it perfectly. Still no portal for Kawa.
Biting Frost, mulligan for Biting Frost, and Tempest is in hand, but yeah, no portal.
And Sanvanter.
Yes.
We've seen something like this. There is a Idaran, there is a warrior, and another
double
one.
warrior.
That reminds me of the previous game, and we also see Kareem having only Demon Corsair, so no ships to team it up with, but you have Draco Turtle, you have the Adept, so I guess you can generate some armor later on.
Yeah. I don't think the engines from Kareem can stand up to the engine potential here for Sanvanter, and especially with like no location, heatwave or whatever, there just isn't any good control answers. So Sanvanter should sail to a pretty easy round win here, I would imagine. He could basically just sit back and have a swig of his favorite drink, which for me, if that was me, that would be lemon lime bitters.
And there we go. The Kikimores, they're everywhere, and now they're supporting the Vrancos, growing them. Oh, that one at the moment.
There's no way you can hide.
Does Idaran get a buff? No real reason to, I suppose.
Yeah, I think there's no real damage that can do like 2 damage in this list. Even then, the Frost would hit the warrior instead.
Yeah, so Mardrum wasn't finishing it off at 4, and at 2 it's in danger, but now you can protect it if you feel like it.
So I like this from Kareem, just well, it doesn't look like he's trying to commit as much to this round. We saw how that happened last game with Totem sort of being used to no value. And there's a second Brown Warrior. I wonder if that will be used with the Tome and the Necromancy together later on. I wonder if there will be the verification to answer the Tome as well.
Yeah, but this time around Kareem doesn't have the totem to throw away. So unless he picks another card to sacrifice in round 1, that might be the end of it.
Yeah, I think Kareem able to stay in there for a little longer, has reach, particularly with, say, this Wild card which can flip into the Champion of Svarblood. Can use that and maybe another card here to just get ahead. I don't think by itself it would be enough, because this portal will get another pull at the end of Sanvanter's turn. I wonder what gets used here. I don't think you want to play this Kikimore Warrior from hand. You want to keep it for later on. You could decree into something.
But you also don't... yeah, goes for the decree.
Yeah.
And goes for the Endrega Queen that featured in Sanvanter's lineup at the Gwent Masters in December, so he definitely likes the card for this leader ability and this deck type.
Yeah. So I don't think there's another consume which can really be used with the Urakus Queen, but you can also just kill the Urakus Queen with a Kikimore Warrior if you so decide. So I just realized there's some nice parallels because Kareem's lineup is very, very similar to what Myamon took to the World Masters, and of course, Sanvanter did face Myamon in the finals of said tournament.
Yeah.
So Sanvanter's got to be pretty familiar with facing against these kinds of lists.
Yeah, and
There's the
I guess the
and the
pairings could have been manipulated as well. In the second series of this match, we'll have Myamon playing against Holder, and it was decided by the time when the players joined the tournament platform, because Team Rest of the World captain, I think, didn't submit the order of the players, but we could have had the rematch of Gwent Masters final here easily. And Sanvanter is leading with the tome in round 2, so I guess he wasn't happy.
Or is this a bear?
Yeah. It got verified. I wonder.
Yeah, that sequence of events has got to be pretty unbearable for Sanvanter.
Yeah, I'm not sure why would Earth and Ritual also like give bears to other like opponents, other factions, when this is what you are trying to do. Keep your bearings and just
I think he's just trying to lay Sanvanter's plans bare.
Okay. And there we have a pass. He couldn't bear it.
This is actually a little hard to catch up. With the spores and the martyr and no bronzes that could do this. Also need to be a 7-point bronze as well, so the couple leader charges being used there along with the build car. But yes, so no term this game. That's out of the way. Still totem.
You can actually kill stuff. You can actually kill stuff, and to remain dead for the most part, unless necromancy is involved.
Yeah. I'd say this is looking a bit better for Kareem. However, the location is missing and it is not found. No way to find the location.
No tutors in this deck.
Yeah. And the Olgid too, but I don't think you really needed the Olgid here, particularly with no location. You have the Draco Totem and Sigfold anyways. So how will Kareem set up here? With no location, it is just going to be the defender coming out first.
And that's where the tweet chat goes. Spread dive where? A cheap answer to a defender. But no spread dive in Sanvanter's list, sadly, so has to try and manipulate it by other means. And well, with Parasite in deck, no board presence at the moment, he cannot deal with the defender easily.
Could see a Knut being played here, and then a Martyr on the defender could kill the idiot. Or maybe try to do similar with the Draco Turtle.
And I think confirmation about the draw in the previous game was that that extra charge came from the Draga Queen, so it was generated passively after the pass and not just left on the board. Okay, so there is the Knut doing Knut things. And defender doing defender things. You'd need to set up your board to be a successful Arahus Swarm player. That might be a challenge.
Yeah, there's no specials left in the deck for Kareem, so when Sanvanter does use this turn, that will just be it. And there's the Heat Wave, but there's another turn here for the Knut to potentially kill off this idiot. Will it get finished off? No. Just decides to set the idiot up at 3 power.
Okay, so that Knut cannot really be left alive. But you also know that it comes back from Sisyphus, right? So you need to do some planning. Also, your units at 3 power are not really living for long. So yeah, we see the buff to the Stalker and it goes to work.
And again, actually, this it doesn't really matter at this point, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because there is one more unit to be played for Kareem, so it's not doing much.
And those Stalkers, until the bears appear, are also just chilling there. Like at the moment, you're just gathering charges. Or try to
when
gather
turn
charges.
gets dropped. Maybe next turn. Because of course Sanvanter can flip the bears with the stalkers before the Svalbard comes down, and that does mean a bit less damage is provided to the whole board.
That's okay, the parasite was 50-50 from that.
I think the necromancy would
So
have been preferred there.
2 gold specials were available.
Necromancy onto a Rand Warrior would have been a lot nicer, I think.
Maybe he didn't want to risk Arcane Tome at this point because your opponent might be missing Sisyphus, right?
But looks like this is Knut being used. And again, I don't think we'll see the Knut being set up directly here. Well, it's particularly because you want to use this leader along with the Svalbard. But if the Knut is not dealt with here, the Svalbard will sort of, again, provide that double whammy of threats. Potentially in a couple of turns. Willem actually has some nice thing to do with Acid Spit, huh?
Yeah. And now the buffs are being damage is being turned into the buff occasionally. So Knut at 7 power is inactive, but he knows what happens to him should he be damaged. The parasite is waiting.
Yeah, so only 1 stalker on board. Actually, this term can still find the necromancy, so that's, I guess, what that's going to find. Maybe this is just time for the Arrakis Queen to come down. It won't really be able to have its Death Wish triggered. You just eat a drone at that point, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's just a glorified spawn Arrakis nest, I guess.
Pretty good for your Glusty.
Yeah.
As you can float it and use it at the end. No Vran warriors here, so that's another possibility for necromancy.
I like this sort of preemptive setup by Sanvanter, because this Svalbard will end up dealing 1, 2, I believe 5 damage to the entire board. So this Knut will actually be wiped out anyways. And I think it's a bit heads up to actually eat the 7 power unit with armor, because then it doesn't just die, you do sort of retain those points. That was the correct consume.
So the swarm deck doesn't swarm at the moment, but there is a Arrakis Queen order, there is still 4 leader charges and a special.
Yeah, might just not even care about triggering the blob at this point.
Yeah. The blob can be triggered for you, right? Bam, 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 and look at the Knut.
Actually, yeah.
Surviving. But yeah, will be dealt with. So is Necromancy still the best option? No, says Sanvanter. No. The acid speed is just broken.
Yeah. And notably because it does count as damage from a status, it does properly damage the Sigboard.
At the same time, it did help with Draka Turtle, doing Draka Turtle things.
Yeah. So this is enough drones to kill both the Blob and the Canoe in one turn.
Yeah, so there are points hidden on this Sigvaldo, but nothing to pull from the book. So Glasty is playing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 19 plus 22, 21. That's a little bit not enough, especially after this spores resetting it. So that
but it does make it harder to set up.
Yeah,
one units.
and Kareem is taking it.
Yeah, with no Van Warriors, the Glusty isn't worth that much value, even with the board full of 1 power units. So yeah, Kareem does take it. I think there we saw Sigvald standing strong against the rest of the world, just standing alone, which is a bit ironic considering Sanvanter was the player who was actually playing against Team Rest.
With each cast, he's just
Yeah,
the queuing genius.
that one wasn't even after a tie.
Yeah. Okay, so the hidden cache, and at the moment we don't see Golden Necker in Kareem's hand. Hopefully he gets to there. At the moment we also see Sanvanter begging King of Beggars to go back into the deck, and done.
I see a distinct lack of Madame Marquis Serenity for Sanvanter, which means the round 1 is a lot harder to win.
The card might be a little bit busted that way, and a big deal breaker for this jackpot. Although yes, Sanvanter is not playing established meta jackpot, I suppose, opting for devotion version instead.
Yeah, so it's a bit greedier draw-wise playing the devotion version, particularly because even if you did have the tutor of the Lordy Bank, you wouldn't even be able to guarantee it finds the Madam. But I find it quite fitting here that even though Sanvanter is also running the Soul and just the Soul, not the Hivita.
The Sanvanter has the Hivita in hand as well.
Oh, I'm just blind, but yes. Both being Horde engines, it is easier for Kareem to get value due to this hidden cache leader. Interesting. I feel like we're gonna see a Temper Pass come through. This looks like a very, very strong Temper Pass. I'm surprised to see the candle being played of all things.
And now we see the tribute, so that's a vendor. I guess he needed the coin. Well, he had the self-poison option.
Looking for a poison, finds it.
Okay, so now the round is kind of closer for Sanvanter.
Good snipe by the Hivita, finishing off the townsfolk, which is a particularly good engine in the jackpot list if it overflows the coin bank. Looks like Sanvanter did the maths that the poison alone would not have been enough here to take the round. So
I guess he goes down to 4 cards to catch up.
Yeah, so what this means is this should be the long round achieved for Kareem. And can set up, say, the Siri Nova's carryover, which is nice to have a veiled unit.
Okay, so that was a hit on Saul by Tyr and Aelith, yeah. I guess it might force. I would expect that the spend from the candle would have been enough if it wasn't a hit.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's very unlucky there.
I think it looked like it was enough, but yeah, now the tempo pass turned out into get your opponent -1 card in round 3.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially like the thing is with those Horde engines, it would have been a lot harder to trigger, say, the Hibitor towards the end of that round after you got rid of your coins from your bank. It's not doing the damage anymore. It might have done if you had, say, hidden cash instead. Yeah, Beggar's Bricks doesn't matter because there was no way you were going to go for the bleed in this round. But, also notably, no Madam round 1 means the draws for Sanvanter are a lot riskier. You haven't thinned as much, and it's harder to find your key golds. And I like that maybe some players would say play Treasure Hunters here to sort of set up for the Necromancy. I really like not doing that, because this essentially forces Sanvanter to go, Kareem can basically say here, I'm going to play Treasure Hunters. You can kill it, sure, but then you're just setting up my Necromancy. So kind of no matter what you do, I'm going to have access to playing sort of 3 Treasure Huntresses this round. And
devotion deck with almost no tutors, having devotion deck problems by the looks of it.
And yeah, and here Sanvanter could get through these Scarabs using the Freak Show, but then it will just get answered by the opposing Freak Show, and then it's quite a problem to deal with the rest of the engines.
Okay, so infusions starting now. Of course, yeah, the answers for defenders and a couple of engines are there. The poisons are ready to be unleashed. We see the junior dealing with it, also getting some extra coins for freak shows to spend. Kareem not getting candle in hand is a bit of a letdown for him, of course.
Yeah.
It can
and it's
count.
only 50-50 whether it's found with the golden neck or the location is found instead. Notably, the location does serve as an answer to these poisons in Sanvanter's hand, both the actual order as well as the potential purify you can find from itself. And that was why this Veil from the Supernova is so important, because otherwise this scale it would be a very bad spender. But you can actually put poisons which aren't really poisons onto the Supernova. And with no more else in this list, those points are completely safe.
Okay, that's
very lucky.
Decent find. If you need more damage, your freak show is still thin. Of course, yeah. Okay. Wretched Addict is not exciting. Well, it can be exciting if your opponent accidentally gives drugs to your units, but that's probably not getting poisoned.
Yeah, I think if Kareem gave any drugs to the addict, I think Sanvanter is just going to make it die of an overdose.
Yeah. So don't do drugs, guys. You cannot board wife. It would have been funny if the brawler decided to come to hidden cash deck and just, you know what, guys, I'm gonna wipe their side of the board, but yeah, not enough coins for that.
This hand looks so sad for Sanvanter. There's 4 golds still in his deck. Notably, one of those is the Flanger Dane, still hasn't been summoned, which is very interesting considering how long that round 1 went on for. Didn't get up to 9 Horde at one point. There's the King of Beggars still at 8 coins to refund.
Nothing triggers that.
Nothing to refund, because the Madam was missed as well. And to just add insult to injury, there's no Yago. Actually, sorry, the Bank is missing as well. 5 golds in deck.
this is a deck that runs no bronze tutors. I guess it's bound to fall flat on its face occasionally. Also, killing the flying Redanian is
It feels bad.
is not what you'd want to do most of the time.
No. Like,
But
yeah,
at
it has
least-
infusion, but that's why it's nice to infuse.
But at least Freak Show is getting his targets killed, so it's something. It's not much. It's an honest work so far for it.
I wonder if you could have used the 4 coins to kill the treasure huntress. I guess the sequencing doesn't really matter here. You still end up finishing it off with the horse, so yeah.
Wait, can Kareem seek anything? Okay, he has the coins. Although he's not gaining any more coins, to be fair.
I'm surprised that Kareem didn't use his own freak show to deal with the opposing freak show.
Yeah, that Freak Show is kind of devastating to a game plan. But
Yeah,
I
you're not
guess
gonna
you
be able to
figure
get
out
anything.
that your opponent is not holding Madame till the end. So
Myślisz, że potrzebujemy większego szpadla?
I guess, is he saving it for the map? Infusing that one has a poison.
like
Oh.
you cannot use Madame as a finisher. Like, what's the sequencing there?
This is all falling apart. There's no units left to infuse. You can't infuse Gala either because he purifies at the end of the turn. Yeah, Bird is back.
It still looks fine.
I mean, yeah, like this isn't good for Sanvanter either, but
look at
Sanvanter
this.
actually has more engines right
Look
now.
at this freaking townsfolk that's continuing growing.
Yeah. Sanvanter isn't meant to be the townsfolk deck. Like,
But suddenly he is. With all the missing golds, he still is.
there's the bird.
Yay?
Okay, we finally killed the freak show.
Now the engines can leave. Oh wait.
Kocham piękno.
But that should have happened the turn the freak show came down.
Ta dzianina to z Zerikani, prawda?
Well, yeah. You kinda need to spend your coins, which is not happening. But does Kareem have 12?
Dobijamy.
The answer is he's getting what, 1? And the answer is no. Okay, so who needs 5 gold stuck in your deck when your freak show is allowed to get freaky?
Yeah, I think I hope you're right, and Kareem was just tunnel focused on the Madame, and that was why the freak show wasn't used to answer the opposing freak
Yeah,
show.
but what I'm saying,
I-
you never keeping the freak show for the finisher, Madame. Like the Madame
I
finisher
agree.
Gwent masters matchups here and there, like AQs, Mayamons, Nilfgaard. Spending 6 coins. Yeah, I know. I tried to play
Yeah.
the similar deck, but well,
That's
having
true,
3-4 of your engines killed by the freak show is also making it a bit
Yeah.
problematic. I guess you could have amassed some coins still. Or maybe
This
not.
is just one of the... Actually, yeah, I might have still been a problem anyways, but maybe Kareem was just caught between a rock and a hard place. But anyways, that is in the past. Well, we'll see that deck again if Kareem does manage to win this game. But we have Joust being used immediately on the first Kikimore warrior, but he has another one on board.
So this Araha Swarm is kind of known to, for growing big Ran warriors if possible, and What deck loves big juicy bronzes on your opponent's side of the board? If not this Master of Puppets one, so let's see how this is getting played by Sanvanter. He had experience facing it over and over again on ladder and on Masters, so he's playing a slightly modified deck nowadays.
Is Fisher King being used probably to put the Golden Necker to the top? Quite unfortunate, I think, not to find the Golden Necker round one. Typically, this deck just likes to slam it straight away.
Yeah.
So you're able to put it back and with a Lissa or a Seer, and then also get yourself your round control.
Will we see? Is it the line to take a Scion Defender potentially? Like we've seen Sanvanter struggle against Defender in Skinagir match.
The thing is, right now there's not much to worry about behind that. It's really just making the heat wave worse because you can't heat wave the Fishkin if you need to. But as long as the engine Sanvanter is going for here are stuff like these Stalkers, stuff like the Kikimore Warrior, which doesn't rely on damaging the opponent's units, I don't think Sanvanter should be in too much of a troublesome place here.
Yeah, the problem is you grow your Grand Warrior, you know what's coming for it. The combo is there, but the combo is slow, so if you land your Petrus Filter on the board, your opponent has a turn to run away. Same goes for the opposite order. Master of Puppets is great, but without Zeal, it's just a full tempo play.
Yeah, so is the goal of this Sanvanter deck in round one to literally just spam Kikimore Warriors until one of them finally sticks, and then just get the Itterants? Then there's no way the opponent can shut down all of your Kikimore Warriors.
Looks like it. We are witnessing this deck, what, third time in action, and all it does is find Itterant and Warriors.
So yeah, you can play them from hand, play them from Hive Mind, get them through Portal. There's so many ways to get these Kikimore Warriors round one.
Well, as Lero points out, you can consume your run with AQ at some point. Well, the point has been achieved with the Master of Puppets landing on board.
However, there's a lot of value you need to place on these gold consumes, though,
Yeah.
which potentially, especially if you're going to miss your Andrega Queen, let's say Kareem is his term just...
Okay, I'm not even sure if he didn't want to play. Most likely, like, he didn't see Golden Necker. He knows that if he does Golden Necker, enable Golden Necker, he's most likely losing the round. But, well, the flip is potentially happening already.
Yeah.
Buffing leader, what are you doing? Buffing a bronze, going to the other side of the board. It's not what you were designed for.
Yeah. Look, you can get the steal back with the heat wave here. But like, there's no way for Kareem to kill or deal with, like, shut down this Master of Puppets now. Kareem will probably get a chance to pass from ahead. Actually, no. It depends on what gets played here.
Well, AQ is out round one.
Yep.
the master of puppets is probably homesick and definitely wants to go back to Nilfgaard.
Yeah.
But if
And
it's
the
a really
nice-
dry season, then he can. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, the nice thing if the Grand Warrior stayed there would have been that it wouldn't be a viable target for the Necromancer's Tome. Looks like surely you do use the Master of Puppets here.
Yes, you keep it so that the round doesn't progress till the last. No, goes for it, and the gap is big.
You can kill it next turn if you need to.
You can kill it, goes you another stalker.
Yeah, no, though the Van Roy was stolen after killing a bunch of units. I think that was because like the only way Kareem would be able to win that round was if there was like a second Master of Puppets coming from somewhere, or like if it actually kept going, like it would maybe get boosted or something and then get sent back. You wouldn't want to give a bigger steal on the return. Yeah, so it was the Necker moved to the top. There's the mat as well to pull the Golden Necker back into hand after the say Alyssa is used on it.
So 3 specials, 2 artifacts. Interesting. Like, I don't know. Kareem could have continued playing, but is it worth it to trade Asaya for Kikimores Stalker? Might have been. Like, if Master of Puppets is getting killed, you know that your round is done and you are trading an engine for something that you like. If we are shuffling Defender back into the deck. Ah.
Oh. Offensive shuffle on the
Kikimore Stalker, I would assume. So that the
Yeah.
tome is not active at the moment. Oh, not active on that, of course. There are more than necessary warriors in the graveyard.
Tome is not found unless Willem is able to get it, but there are a lot of golds in deck, so I wouldn't put a whole lot of hope on the Willem striking true. And with the Brand Warrior being drawn, it would be very funny if the Willem pulled Portal, because there's only the Hatchling as a viable target.
Okay, so I think Sanvanter is kind of struggling finding his artifacts. Portal, he was more or less able to locate. Tome was successful only once, I suppose.
Twice. The second time was verification.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
This was
like,
the end.
It was not achieving much. Okay.
That's not what you want there, because now your Golden Necker is significantly worse. It's lacking viable artifact targets.
Yeah, because you have only one special, but you can Alisa to mitigate it, so that you are playing Tome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hatchling is dropping out instead of another stalker. That's unlucky for Sanvanter.
Yeah, Portal having 0 viable targets now.
Yeah, that would be an interesting Willem roll for certain. It was just
I think this game very well.
dismantled.
This game could just be decided by the Willem roll. I think the point is, like, if you have the Portal round 1 and you play the Decree, you're able to get a lot of thinning out. And that means that the Willem is quite consistent this late in the game. But of course, missing that early Portal means the Willem is I don't know how you describe it, like spinning a wheel at a carnival fair, and you better hope it's not rigged against you. This is the
Alyssa. Yeah, I guess consideration is to put Royal Decree back.
Yeah.
Because you definitely need another special.
Or the Boo hurts that you can click your own turn, but I don't think you'd even want to do that because you give a chance for the opponent to play their stuff.
I think you are still shuffling one. Like, I think you are clicking Arcane Tome. Okay, so 2 bookworks at a price of 1.
I think if the full series found, it would be used on a offensive tourney joust rather than like a extra Boo hurt heal. Oh, okay. Decides that an extra spawn is more important than the Kikimore hatch though.
Okay, so time for Buhurt. And boosting 1 bronze out of the proportions, of course. Yeah, the tallest bronze has been consumed multiple times in this matchup. You don't really care about the point value. It is generated by your opponent. Ah, we don't see a portal. It is a 1 bronze Necromancer Stone, but
well,
definitely better.
Term could find the Necromancy
okay,
here,
yeah,
and that would pull a number of bronzes.
Okay.
But goes to the Acid Spit.
But instead, Acid Spit is it is the target. Still a lot of spawns.
Yeah, kind of funny. We have an Arcane Term. I wouldn't quite say it's spitting image of the Necromancer's Term, but also the Acid Spit coming out from said Arcane Term.
Kareem knows that. Okay, he clicks it immediately, knows that there is still a Parasite and a couple of bronzes he haven't seen.
Problem is... Okay, so the Vega will find the 1 Power Master of Puppets here very late in the game. But yeah, I mean, this Dragon Queen can... I guess you can wait another turn, but yeah, I'll be curious.
Do you flip now somehow? Just expecting it to get answered, but you cannot deal once again with the Puppet Master on opponent's side of the board.
That's the problem.
You cannot do the flip. Well, like all you need is to spawn 1 unit, but that doesn't seem possible. So Necromancy is coming into play now. Is it Former Warriors? It is.
In theory, each turn, let's just... Each click of the turn for Kareem might have played the Boo hurt for like, let's say, 14 points, I'd say, roughly. I'm not sure if it was worth it playing ping pong here. Like, that Necromancy is going to be a lot of points still. Particularly with this Acid Spit ongoing on the Palmerin.
And now your favorite bronze on opponent's side of the board is gone. It just became a queen.
Yeah, like I wonder if Sanvanter had this matchup in mind, because a gold consume is very, very good in this matchup. And now, don't know what Kareem can do with these remaining cards, and is facing down quite a potent Glusty.
Yeah, like, there is a control in terms of swapping bronzes, but not much outside of that when you spent your Wilgefortz already.
You can steal the Brand Warrior, perhaps.
Also, nothing more exciting like dropping Petri's filter as one of your cards from hand. Yeah, game seems to be done. Oh look, a drone. Oh, a stalker with a billion charges still. All of them need to be used this turn. Acid speed is proving its worth.
Yeah, someone has some pretty good APM, I'd say. But I think at this point we can just sit back, watch the fireworks unfold. Notably, I think Bertha is a fool that has some interesting interactions with Master of Puppets, I believe.
So, yoink is happening, Master of Puppets is staying, but it's getting consumed anyway, and yeah, you are a billion points behind. So, yeah, Sanvanter beats the Toussaint's hospitality.
Yep. Takes the 3-1 victory over Kareem, and that is a first series win here for Ukraine in the first matchup of the 2024 Gwent World Cup.